You've moved over into crypto. Why crypto?
From a technology perspective, crypto is still evolving and the potential innovation is just huge.
What is one piece of advice you'd give to young developers?
Curiosity is the number one thing to make people successful.
What superpower would Binance be and why?
I would say time travel. Binance always stay ahead of the innovation curve.
In the next 5 years' time, where do you see Binance?
I think Binance will be transforming too.
Hello and welcome back to the Binance Studios. Now we're diving into the product and the application of Binance, the most used crypto platform in the world. And joining me to discuss much more is Jeff Lee, who's VP of Product at Binance. Jeff, thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Jessica, for inviting me.
Great to have you here. And there's so much to discuss. First of all, I want to acknowledge that you have an absolutely fascinating CV. You've worked for some of the biggest, if not the biggest, social media platforms in the world. So just to relate a few for everyone that's listening, Director of Product at TikTok and Global Head of TikTok Money, Product Development and Software Engineering roles at brands like Instagram, Twitch, and Oracle. Huge names there. And then you've moved over into crypto. So I think the big question, first of all, just to kind of set the tone for the conversation is, why crypto? Why did you make the move from these huge social media platforms?
Well, I think crypto for me is something that is in the very early stage, right? Because from a technology perspective, crypto is still evolving, right? So the possibility and the potential innovation is just huge, right? So the ability for me to make a meaningful impact, to be able to drive, to bring more people on track is really fascinating. Yeah.
Mm. And talk us through some of the lessons that you'll have had from working at these enormous entities, some of the apps that are most used from all of us today, and what kind of lessons you've learned along the way that you're bringing into crypto, an industry that, as you said, like it is still evolving, it is still moving, and we are on target to really compete with some of these big platforms.
Well, I think different platforms really focus on different type of users, right? Mm-hmm. Different kind of use cases. For the social media platform company, I think what they're doing really well is really creating meaningful connections for people, right? They really bring people closer or to their families or friends, or potentially serving people with more relevant content. So I think, the technology and the product behind that can really help the website world. For example, how do we utilize AI and machine learning for recommendations? How do we create a more frictionless user experience to help people onboard and for user to achieve a aha moment? How do we leverage the power of our community and the power of our user to really create that meaningful connection and meaningful engagement?
And how do you know what the community and what the user, what they really want? Because I think having a user-intuitive platform, and we kind of make the joke that a good product is a product that you don't even think about using. You just naturally, intuitively are able to operate, and then you only realize it's a bad product when it stops working. So how do you know what the user wants and needs to navigate?
Well, I think so. First of all, right, we really have to focus on our users, right? Mm-hmm. And different users have a different kind of preference.
Yeah.
Right. And different preference and user have a different way of achieving what they want. So we really have to find a systematic way of building a product that really serves the user according to their own preferences. And that could easily through a flexible design. That could be easily to reduce the cognitive load through a different way of information architecture. But simplicity in general, in principle, and relevance is a way for a user to quickly achieve what they want, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting that you say that, because Binance has recently surpassed 250 million users, which is an enormous milestone. So first of all, kind of congratulations to you and to the wider team. What's interesting is if you ask someone to describe a typical cryptocurrency user, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, there would have been a stereotype, but now crypto is global. There are so many countries, and the crypto user looks different. And that also means for features, some people will want a more experienced with crypto trading, and some people want an easier, hodl approach. So what has been some of the bigger lessons that you've had to take on board when navigating something which has such a range in different user appetites?
Well, I think we really have to be able to give the users ability mm-hmm. of what they prefer.
Yeah.
For example, for a new user who are very new to crypto, it will be overwhelming for them to be able to give in some of the advancing tools, right? So we have to look at what those new users want and to be able to give them, either the education or, the social proof or an easier way for them to onboard to the crypto world. However, for the user who are familiar with the crypto world or familiar with trading, perhaps what they're looking for is more advanced capabilities, right? To provide them with a trading insight for them to make a better trade. Right? So different type of the traders and different type of users will have to serve with a different kind of services and tools.
And I think the industry is very quickly onboarding new users. It must be quite a competitive landscape. How do you deal with the competition in the space of kind of fast evolving trends and also the fast-paced nature of the crypto industry and market at large?
Well, I think Binance is the number one brand at the crypto world. I think how we continue to stay number one is that we're willing to stay focused on our user, right? Really to understand what is their pain point is and how do we help them to solve their pain point. And then second is really to create a simplified UX. So the personalization, the user interface onboarding, according to the habit of each users. And the third, I think we staying compliant, right? Working with, the government regulation, really providing the most compliant the platform in the world. Yeah.
And that's a really interesting goal for product as well, and just how kind of closely you work with them. So as the VP of product, what other teams within the organization do you work with quite closely? Because that might surprise some of the users.
Well, I think, for product is quite central, right? So I think I do work with a lot of user-facing product teams, and also I do work with, for example, also the platform team as well. Yeah. And also AI machine learning teams, and also teams such as Convert, Earn, and Pay, and also Binance Square. But generally, I think what we're trying to build is a really world-class user experience, really enable people to bring the next billion user on-chain and for them to have the financial freedom and access to the services, whether they couldn't technically access to. Yeah.
Such an exciting time for the industry and a big milestone. You say it with a smile, which makes me kind of optimistic that we're really on track and it's very close in the future. If we look now at kind of crypto and Web3, because you have a wealth of experience in Web2 social media platforms, how do you see them possibly working together in the future or taking on more of the experience that you have had from the likes of these huge organizations like TikTok and Instagram? Do you see crypto and Web3 complementing these platforms in the future?
Absolutely. I think Web3 is definitely a new use case that's continuing to grow, right? Mm-hmm. And the fundamental technology, the blockchain technology building up is at the very early stage. So the integration or the combination, the synergy between the Web3 and the traditional use case with social media platform is just started. For example, there could potentially be so much opportunity with the tokenization of the creator economy, right? There could be so much thing we can bring the transparency and decentralized identification onto the social media, right? There could be so much thing we can enable the user using payment with the blockchain technology in a faster, cheaper, and more transparent way, right? So I think the technology will unlock new innovation in the future, and we're just at the tip of the beginning. And it'll be very, very exciting for the next, not 1 year, 2 years, but the next 5 to 10 years.
Yes. And also then when it comes to looking ahead to people that are building in the space, so people that are watching this that are looking to build in Web3, they're looking to bring on new users into Web3, they're looking to spread the knowledge of the Web3 industries and what it can bring. What would you say and what advice could you give to people that are exploring amplifying or improving their product?
Well, I say definitely first is a focus on your users, right?
Yeah.
User is the most important thing to any kind of product. We really have to protect our users and enable them to have a great aha moment with our product and really have to bring value to our users. So I think that's super important. And second, whenever we do a product design, simplicity and being able to give the user what they truly need is critical, important for any of the success of the product. And third, I think blockchain crypto is really powered by technology innovations. Really focus on the core technology and using the technology to bring value and the true benefit to our user in the long term.
Amazing. Now we're going to move over into our rapid fire question round. So the idea is to answer without thinking too much as fast as possible. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. What is your favorite social media app and why?
Wow. I think that's a difficult question. I like them all. I love TikTok and Instagram. I think both of them are awesome, right? I also love Twitch, right? So those are the three places I've worked at. I have a distinct love for each. I think for TikTok, it's really an amazing platform that enable user to use the content that inspire communities, right? And for Instagram, it is incredible platform that bring people closer together to their friends and family. And for Twitch, right, it is really a live streaming platform that really bring the power of community, the power of engagement, the power of the user and community to their creators, right? So each of those three are awesome.
If Binance was a superpower, what superpower would it be and why?
Well, I would say the Binance superpower, I would say, is a time travel. Right? And I would say the Binance always stay ahead of the innovation curve.
Such a good answer. If you got to build your dream Web3 product, money was no object, what would it look like?
Well, money is always an object. Joke aside, I think I would love to build an AI agent-based crypto platform. That AI agent will intelligently help me to automate the user onboarding, the user's deposit, the user's trading insight, the social media sentiment and news summary, and it will curate my trading strategy with AI-powered insights and also complete actual trade for me using different specialized AI trading strategy. At the end of the day, it will do a review for me and it optimize on its own and it will tell me the perfect report.
I feel like hypothetically you've thought about this before. Is this something that you view, we are talking about AI, we are in an AI boom in 2025 that could happen in the next kind of 5 years or so?
Well, I think AI is, especially with, the rise of ChatGPT and LLM, right? I think the technology has and accelerated the pace that's changing every use case in our daily life and in also through different kind of platform. So I think for crypto, we are also riding this way, and the potential possibility of this is a reality.
So now, if we are looking crystal ball, 5 years time, where do you see Binance and where do you see kind of your role within the organization?
I think the 5 years, I see Binance continually to be serving our users, focus on our users. And I see Binance will bring more and more people, maybe the next billion user on chain, right? And I think Binance will also be transforming to an AI-first platform as well, really leveraging the power of AI or bring meaningful impact to our users, right? And really creating the wealth effect wherever possible to helping the user to have the financial freedom with access to the financial service.
And finally, what is one piece of advice you'd give to young product designers or developers that are entering the space?
Well, I think definitely focus on our users and have curiosity will empower a lot of proactiveness and understanding. I think for me, that is number one trait, right? I think skills that we can learn, education, we can go through, knowledge, we can go to YouTube or study. But I think curiosity is the number one thing to make people successful in any kind of industry that you want.
Amazing. So to anyone watching, we have 1 billion user milestone and curiosity with sites like YouTube. So if you've not yet subscribed, do make sure to do so. Jeff, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. You've given us so many pieces of information to take away there. And it's really an exciting time for the Binance, the platform, and the crypto industry at large. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jessica, for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to talk to our users and you as well.
Absolute pleasure. Guys, thank you so much for listening and we'll catch you in the next one.